generic, man. It doesn't matter. It's character art. It's so much detail into that character. You can't. No. And VFX. I mean, it was such a poor competition. Like the game characters look 10 times better. You know, this should have been way better. Game environment level. This actually took the third place. This was my favorite. The red environment was really
I think Ubisoft guy won top.
props. This one. Adorable gun. This one.
Adorable gun.
And the one that I actually liked, the honorable mention. This was the only one I really liked from.
Oh, that's
challenge.
actually a pretty nice boat.
Oh, what the fuck? I thought that fishing boat would win. Damn it.
Well,
I'm great, Valio. How are you, mate?
if you have judges that don't really know what they're doing, you're gonna be disappointed.
To be honest, I really thought like this was the great. Come on. And there was also that that guy with the bridge. I don't know if he finished though. Thing. Oh, took another honorable mention.
Oh, that's a nice bridge. The wood, however, around the bridge is not so great, I don't think.
But it was the prop one.
Yeah.
It was just the bridge. No.
The bridge itself is good, but the log that's trying to come devour it, I don't think is all that great.
It's that concept, man. Come on, it's looking fucking awesome. What are you talking about?
He did it per the concept, so I think he did a good job.
It's
What was the concept look like?
Pretty much exactly the same.
Well, that's good. I mean, if you can like make the concept the
That's
final model.
The point of the concept is, hey, this is where we're taking it.
Except the cobblestone, no. I mean, the concept is like this dark black, which actually fits because if you look at the oak and this purple, it all resembles death, right? But in
Yeah,
his
well,
final, he
I
didn't
still like
really do that.
he didn't went one-on-one on,
Yeah.
but I still fucking like it. Maybe a bit too noisy on the wood, but it's still a good prop, man. And compared
Yeah.
to some others, I don't know. And this one, come on, this is a fucking perfect prop for a game. If you ask me, this is
Oh yeah, definitely the boat. Oh yeah.
it's a fucking perfect.
If
fucking
anything
great.
that was wrong with it, oh wait, never mind. I thought those were fish. They were just wood.
Like really nice topology, clean stuff, awesome textures.
Right?
What more do you want?
Oh
Okay.
wow, that is really good. In the pub.
Yeah, it's a fucking great asset, you know. And he actually did more. This is not a bad asset either.
Yeah, I would easily let that guy
That
win.
one was kind of simple, but it doesn't matter. He made three really cool concepts. Let's say two really cool assets.
The statue is nice as well.
You really like the texturing on this one, Alex? You
I
feel
more
like
or
the
less like it
texturing
on this.
on this
Gotcha.
one? No, the model it's quite detailed. He sculpted a lot and it's really cool. But I think he destroyed it with the fucking texturing.
Yeah, maybe. It still looks pretty nice.
Like,
I would have to see it
you
in
have
like
no
scene.
aging materials. You have this wood that doesn't really look like wood. You have a lot of wear on this edge and dark spots and shit. And this is practically perfect lacquer. And dirt all over the place. Dirt. Damage all over the place. No interesting spots to rest your eyes.
True.
I really feel like uh, given the model, the detail of the model he he made, and the
The
amount of details
texture
he put
didn't do it
into it,
justice.
yeah, the texture it's subpar for it. Because the model it's really detailed. He put a lot of effort in all three parts of them. Because they're all three combined in a single asset. Like sculpting all these small details and then just throwing a low resolution texture with damage everywhere. I don't know. It's not bad, don't get me wrong. And this one, these three assets actually are really cool rendered. They're not complex, but they have nice shaders and textures. They're movie props though, kinda high poly, but they're really cool rendered. They really look nice. Eye candy.
Yeah. Some ike.
I was seeing this one
Early.
all three for sure. I didn't see. This is unexpected though. Another Romanian taking the second place instead of this one. But it's not me judging, I guess. Because if I'm looking at I don't know if Doro or Bogdan is his first name. Like, I don't see the materiality. Like he has so much noise on his textures that he's losing all the metalness. I don't know. They're not game res. That's
Oh hell no, that's definitely not game res.
and this is probably his best set from the all three. And still the metals don't have metalness. There is no game res category now, except characters. Yeah, I'm disappointed, but I'm kind of getting used to when it comes to our station challenge. They're not bad characters, don't get me wrong. I still don't understand what this is doing in Honor.
Yeah, that's really bad.
I don't get it. Do you guys get it?
Not that bad for a stylized character. I've seen really worse.
I don't know. Maybe I'm picky.
But that being said, yeah, he could have done better, or she could have done better.
He.
I don't judge online. You never know.
Don't be picking him out. Of course I can. We've already talked about. It took me 5 minutes to see the cats. Did you see the cat?
Yeah, I agree.
There's
It
so
did
much
take me a
fucking
while
noise.
to take the cats as well.
Yeah, it's just the design, I think. I mean, if you look at the concept too,
Yeah,
it's.
but you can guide the
I
eye.
didn't
You
know
can
there's
put
a
some
cat.
gradient. You can play with specularity. You know? Don't
Yeah.
put the same thing all over the place and expect results. Yeah, you don't have any separation. You can't even read her face. You know? Can you tell if she has a mark, like a lace over her eyes, or if she's painted? No, you can't. Well, to be honest, I'm really impressed. Olia is top 3, especially since it's a girl and you know how it works. Yeah, it is how it is. All the effort paid off. It took 3rd place, Ilya. Now work again 2 months. And cool character. Well, there was no challenge, no judgment in challenges where I was not disappointed. Like not giving a fuck. You make a real time challenge, then you don't give a fuck about topology and shit like that. Like the technical part is completely ignored.
Yeah. Like, yeah, like.
You can't ignore the technical part if you're talking about game. No, you're talking about VFX. Okay, the polygon doesn't fucking matter. You can put how many textures you want. It's okay. But if you're talking about games, you should actually need to be able to put that goddamn model into a goddamn game. What I'm saying.
Mm,
And about this, we've talked like 2 weeks ago. The separation of materials again, it's non-existent. Like you don't know which is cloth, which is crust, which is wood, which is rope, which is metal. They all look like kind of the same. It's a cool model. Nothing to say about it. With a bit of work on the materials, it would have been so much better. They are. I don't expect anything special from the 3D previews. Fuck happened?
yeah, I see what you mean. There's like almost no specularity too.
How the fuck did from rotating this went directly to my ArtStation market? I don't know. It has like the specular all over the place is kind of the same. Don't He didn't separate things properly. He didn't put some gradients to make the eye see different materials. You know?
Well, you could argue that it's underwater, right? And underwater, you know, things,
Look at the
especially like
reflection
soft
here.
reflection, don't really.
Like
Is it the lighting though? If the specular's muted like that, is it really the water, the lightning? because the lighting changes
Man,
the whole image.
Yeah,
not
the lighting is
specularity.
shit. The
this
lighting
is
shit.
this is the specularity.
But if you put an object
The specular.
underwater, there's almost no
He
There's
has,
practically no
glossiness.
distinction. Right,
except the blade,
but
has like no definition in.
But
It-
yeah, like metals, it's another different story, right? You know, you see reflection underwater
no.
very clearly.
Sandu, the marmoset uses the spec workflow no matter what. It always changes the spec.
Yeah, Marmoset viewer changes your metal
Like roughness
roughness
and metal
to
is default now.
specular gloss.
Yeah.
But he has like no variation in specularity except the fucking blade. It's like a single color, right? From distance you can't define anything, which is a big issue when you're rendering. A really, really big issue. He should have had stuff like this where it's whitish all over the place. Like even if you go outside the realist, put more specular on some parts. Make the wood lacquered. Impose it. Force it on the cloth to be perfectly black and whiter on the wood and so on, so you get the fucking color. If you don't do that, it's gonna look like that.
Just think he messed up his lighting.
It's not only about the lighting, because here in Marmoset Viewer, you don't get area lights and so on that kind of fuck up your specularity.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so you should see perfectly. You should see specular stuff, reflections and bubbles, the light, no matter what. And he doesn't have that, which is sad, to be honest.
Because it's an awesome model.
It's a cool model.
It's a really cool character.
And a lot of effort went into it. But it's just and the sad part, you know what it is? Because this guy finished the model with a week or two in the end. This is the sad part. He had one more week to improve it. No, 2 more days working on this materials would have made all the fucking difference. No, this one didn't manage to put the perfect dirt on it, even though he had a really cool model, because he didn't have time to finish it. It's the same thing for all, yeah. Like, can you tell the difference between metal and cloth? Except the blade, which is metal on. Specular wise. Yeah, this is metal. This is metal. This is metal around the eyes. Zero metalness, zero specularity. Same thing. See? Well, it's colored because it actually has metalness on. But there's no contrast. There's nothing to define them.
Yeah,
You
there's
should
no
have
like
shined
harmony.
like hell and make them pop up. This actually works a bit here in viewer, not in the renders. It's a cool mod. Stylized metal. Man, you, you've seen so much stylized so many games nowadays that sell stylized stuff. I haven't even looked at it all. Nah, let's not go there. This is not game ready topology. This is zero measure. Left limit.
Yeah.
Yes, it is how it is. The whole cloth or zero mesh. All fabric parts were zero mesh. It's a good model, but I think he has finger cancer. What does that fucking mean?
Finger cancer.
I fucking love this model. This is a proper model, at least in terms of
Technical.
yeah, high poly quality, low poly quality,
Yeah, technicality, yeah.
and even the way it looks, it's a really cool model. A bit more dirt, obviously he should have used, like putting a gradient of dirt from bottom to the top would have been really fucking great. Well, his face is not perfect, of course, but it's still gonna work, you know?
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
It looks good.
It's
That's
a really good character. I don't know how this didn't win.
Yeah, that should have won.
I really don't understand how this didn't win. Like for me, only looking at this fucking boss, I would have picked this as a winner only for this.
Them judges, man.
And to be honest, I think there are so many other honorable mentions that should have been there.
I don't know.
Like, ah,
Well, it'd be nice if
And look how close
good
to the
work
fucking
was
concept is.
valued.
It's really close to the fucking concept. So this is another uh, white ball, you know? Another
Jesus
thing
Christ.
to take into consideration.
Well, I gotta flee to work.
Okay.
Adios. Nice talking
Thank
with
you.
you.
I don't know. Look at this. Maybe I'm crazy, man.
nah, you're not. I feel the same way, so you're not. Or we're both crazy.
And that's more likely.
Well, you gotta be crazy if you stream like what, 11 hours a day. So yeah.
Nah, today I started late, man.
Yeah, but
Oh,
still.
this is not the first place. This is not even the third place. Or is it the third place? Oh yeah,
This
it's the third place.
should have been the
Well,
first place.
this is a concept 2D drawing, and this is made in a realistic style. So the differences
That's
between the concept and
ridiculous.
it's barely visible. If you ask me, you can't get much better than this.
I just think the
proportion wise,
color on
it's a drawing. You know, he went for full realism. I've worked on so many games where they sent us some crazy shaped concepts, and we were required to deliver realism. And you change proportion because it's needed, because the clothes won't stand on a real character as on a distorted drawing. It's this is, I mean, the only reason that this is missing is the fucking border here on this plate. Other than that, it's fucking a perfect transition from the concept to a realistic character for a game. I don't know. I'm quite sure that no one right in his mind from a studio will decline something like this. And this chain also, it's fucked up. I think he hurried to just place it there. But this is a great character. And for me, this should have been the winner. Not third fucking place. Like, in a studio production environment, this might not get approved. While the third place would, for sure. Ah, I got pissed again. I see some environment.
don't you'll be
Where is the environment? 3D environment. This is like what film with a fucking Nokia 3310?
why is the model just standing still? Everything
Why
like
do you
moving.
think? There's no model. It's probably a plane.
Yeah. Something lacks, like subject lacks those
Like
stuff.
shadows.
Yeah, like
Like shadows.
yeah, but I mean like
And shaders. Proper shaders. And
yeah,
translucency.
contrast. That's what
I think
lacks.
those
No, it has a
shadows
shit
would have.
ton of contrast, but that's post-processing. But it has no shadows, like none of these plants cast shadows. Or if they
Yeah.
cast, it's barely visible. I don't like this. I feel like it's
Shit.
uh,
No.
something you would see in a game nowadays that would piss me off because poor graphics.
Yeah.
And this one looks straight from the poor games of nowadays. No lightning, man. The lightning is. I'm looking for that game, man. I hope it will be as good as it looked in the goddamn trailer, and
What
as
game?
interesting. Yeah, I don't like this either. I still remain at my belief that this should have won. Which actually has a proper lightning. And a really interesting lightning. Did they release the Ghost of Tsushima?
I don't think so yet.
Not yet. But I think it's practically just been announced. Still, in the whole announcement stage.
For me, this should have been the winner. I fucking love this. For some reason. I don't
It's
know.
got
I
some
like
really
the
nice
mood.
atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah, for real, this looks really, really cool. I really loved it. And it took the fucking third place. You know how it is. What I like takes the fucking third place.
It's ArtStation's agenda against you.
It's conspiracy.
Yeah.
This is really cool. Composition wise. Cool stuff.
Yeah, it definitely does remind me of Neo.
Really cool stuff. But who
Dude,
cares
I need
about
sleep. I just clicked on your stream to pause the YouTube video.
it? Yeah, it's good.
Well, I'm out then.
Take
'Cause
care, man.
11:20.
Good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah, life's not fair, man. What can I say? Can we see the judges? Let's see.
The judges are all the way at the top in the paragraph.
I need to swear on someone.
Yeah, they're right there.
It's Crystal Saw Ella, lead character artist of Door, Devon Fayette Riot, Pablo Carpe from Riot, and Satoshi, obviously. Oh no, this is for environment. This is also for environment. So who's on character? Let's go to there's no that link anymore. Oh, this is our station max. That might be the issue. See, briefing. Challenge hosts. With the judge. I have Gavin also. No judges. Yeah, Gavin and Satoshi were the fucking hosts. I don't like any of these two. Know this one? Had a long talk about this fucking character of Satoshi. And how this piece of sub-mediocre art was promoted everywhere. But who cares? Well, it would have been good if she looked like a doll. She looks like my fucking brother. With a wig. And with some fucked up lips and nose. Maybe broken. Yeah, anyway, I don't wanna rant anymore. Yeah.
Please carry on. It's very entertaining.
Say again, please.
Please carry on ranting. It's very, very entertaining.
Yeah, it's very entertaining when I'm the one ranting. Right, because you guys are all afraid to say shit about people who don't deserve being praised. That's one thing that really pisses me off. You're all afraid that you're not gonna get a job in the industry, or you're gonna piss someone who you shouldn't piss, and you keep your opinion for yourselves and go and say amazing when everyone is posting some shit. You just select the ones you wanna pack, man. Oh, it's exactly like that in the industry. This industry is filled with wonkers and people who will remember you for what you said 2 years ago.
Nobody cares.
Well, you think so, but it's not like that.
It's like, I remember you. You said my art looked like crap. Now who's laughing?
Exactly. Look, I have nothing personal with the artist, don't get me wrong. They're
Just
trying
the
to do
art.
their best, you know? But just because you know someone and you get promoted everywhere doesn't make you a fucking good artist.
Just means you have to work harder.
You know? If your name is Sarakawa and you just talk a lot with Leonard Tell and he got you under his wing on our station, that doesn't mean you're a good artist. And you should not be able to judge other artists with your current skill. No, it's not right. But it is how it is.
Maybe he doesn't realize his current skill. Like the
I know
Dunning-Kruger effect.
I know Sarakawa since Comic-Con 2014 when he took like second place. I think. Yeah, I think it was second place. I think Brainiac was the first one and he took the second place, whatever. And he was just making connection by spamming everyone's topics. You know? Like coming there and telling his opinion. And don't get me wrong, I have no problem with people saying what they believe about your model and what can be improved and shit. But spamming, like going every day and posting 100 topics, no, you're overdoing it. It's clearly not your intention to be nice and help people. It's your intention to get well known. And that's another thing that really pisses me off. Now let's get over it and finish the fucking gloves. Too much shit for one day. I need to grab a beer. Beer back. Cheers.
Cheers, mate. Gonna grab one too.
Drink water, man. Get rusty. Yeah, well, I have a thing, Asgard, with VFX stuff.
Good evening. You too.
Hey there. I'm more into game stuff, you know. For me, if it's VFX, it's VFX. You know? I've seen plenty of those. There are so many artists making realistic faces and proper hair that I'm not getting ecstatic anymore. But it's just me. I know this is my problem. Well, then here you go. You have a reason to focus on that. But it's a cool looking model. Get real. It's looking real as fuck. That shit won't be fucking visible. Why am I sculpting it? Okay, we're done with the bugs.
Nimrod, can I trouble you with a question?
I don't know, can you?
You know the characters from Unreal Engine, the last one they showed with Andy Serkis and that siren chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you know how they are created, right? Around the eyes, they place a geometry object to fake the shadow. Do you have any idea if they animate that when the eye moves or blinks or stuff like that, or it's just
Of course it's animated.
it's animated, right?
It goes with the eye, with the eyelid.
Oh, okay, so I did mine properly. Thanks. It's just that when I blink it, because the shadow proportion changes being animated. It's a bit strange. That's why I was asking.
Well, the shadow, well, that simulates the ambient occlusion.
Exactly.
And it should be kind of the same size.
Yeah,
No
but
matter where the eyelid is, you know?
yeah, but if the eye closes, it's a single geometry. It also covers the lower part of the ambient occlusion of the eye, and also the upper part. So when the eye blinks, the the gradient around the center squashes. I know, looks a bit strange.
I don't really understand.
I could show you if you.
Close the eye.
Yeah, if you
The
close it.
whole polygon line that defines the ambient occlusion should go lower with the eyelid, right? Till it hits the goddamn lower eyelid. So the size of the polygon should be the same. And the ambient occlusion that simulates should be the same. It will remain in the same place. Wait, what the fuck are you destroying? Understood what I'm trying to say?
Not sure.
So you have a polygon that simulates the ambient occlusion, right?
Right.
That goes for fuck's sake. So you have some geometry that goes pretty much. You can paint here. It goes like this, right? You have a geometry that simulates the ambient occlusion here, kind of like this thick, right?
Right.
And when you animated it, it will.
It, yeah, I understand what you're saying. You're thinking of a single geometry for the upper part, but they use something else.
When you animate this will rotate with the eyelid downwards like this, but it will keep the thickness.
Yeah, you're right.
No, it
But
won't lose the goddamn thickness.
they are not doing it like that.
Polygons. It will go under the lower eyelid.
They have a single piece of geometry for both the upper shadow and the lower shadow of the eye. It also does some other stuff like blur and stuff like.
What I'm trying to say.
Oh, sorry, I was speaking and forgot to press the speak key. They don't have it set up like that. They have a single piece of geometry for both the upper shadow and the lower shadow, and it also does some other stuff like blurring and stuff like that. So basically, when I squash it, I need to squash from the upper part to the lower part. It goes like to a line when the eye closes.
Make a morph.
Yes, I did that, but it looks a bit strange because it also squashes the shadow.
No. Yeah, but make a morph and move the lower part till it becomes practically a line, and the upper part moves properly because the upper part is what you're really interested in.
Yes, but that would bang up the blur and stuff like that. Like I said, it also does some other stuff. There's shader. And give me a second. I'm gonna open Unreal and I can show you what I did and how it looks at this moment. And you'll see what I mean. If you want to, of course. If you don't, I can like some other day or.
Thanks, Rahib. Right, I need to kill one cat.
Welcome back.
who modeled this head, Solar?
I did.
You did. Why the eyelids have no thickness?
What do you mean? 2 seconds while I add the texture to this.
Like you have basically no thickness for the eyelids. They're so thin. It gives me nightmares.
They're not thin. This is the ambient occlusion.
I don't know. I've looked at your model. Yeah, that's not thickness.
Yeah, maybe. I could add more, I
That
guess.
should, that should be like 2 times at least thicker. Oh, you have an entire plane for the ambient occlusion.
Yeah, exactly. It's an entire plane.
Well, don't do it like that.
Well, at least that's how they show. They set that up for those demo characters.
Let me. I think Asgard here can actually show you a proper example if you ask him nicely.
I can show you on my Twitch if you want.
No, here's it's his Twitch one.
Oh, all right.
Let me drop a link for those who wanna visit it directly.
2 seconds. I need to add a texture to the face so it's visible. Where the fuck is it?
But he has like a full plane over the eye for the ambient occlusion instead of 2 strips, you know, Asgard? Because I'm sure you've made strips for Unreal for all your characters' eyes, and there are strips for simulating the ambient occlusion and getting the blur for the edge of the eye.
And just
Every time I've made it, it was like a strip, never as a full cover up for the eye, you know, because he did it there. What's going on with her?
I don't know. It's something weird.
No, with her eyebrows.
Those are just planes, which I added smooth on them. I didn't like. I wanted more geometry there. To say,
Because he has like a full polygon covering the whole eyeball. Of course, it's getting squashed, you know. That's his problem. Where do I?
oh, finally. Okay, so let me show you some animation. 2 seconds while I run on.
Hey, Georgian, you got a minute?
Oh, so you say it's gonna be okay with just an upper shadow?
You read the photorealistic character documentation, right?
Yeah,
That's what you're seeing.
but
Yeah, but if you look here, this is what you can you see my stream?
yeah, I can see yours. Yes.
Okay, so this is the example they show, right? And you see, actually there are 2 strips, one bigger for the upper part and one smaller for the lower part, and they close it in between, right, in this documentation. But when you make the morph, you get these 2 edges on the same line, basically.
So you don't squash them.
Right? You don't squash it at all, like scale properly, you know. You keep these polygons as much as possible on a single with the same size, right? So when you make the morph, you move this line of edges from here almost on top of the one below. Then if you need to close the eye more, then you can take this line here and take it further down, you know?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah,
In the documentation from Unreal, Voodoo.
yeah. Right now they have another geometry which it's a bit different. They
When I
posted
work
another
for,
digital character, more realistic, more better than this one from the documentation, and it
yeah.
has more geometry.
Anyway, when I worked with Unreal for characters and I had to make these ambient occlusion planes, we only had these two strips, you know, the middle one didn't even exist. So the morph would just push it through,
Yeah, I understand.
you know?
Yeah, right now
But
it looks like this, which is kind of weird.
yeah, because you don't have the topology, you have three edges there in the middle. Yeah, you just squash everything.
Exactly, and it's not cool.
Yeah, well, try to make a morph where you don't squash you only move the edges from the upper part more to the lower. Instead of squashing everything, just make a morph target where uh, you set pretty much all those three edges to fit the lower eyelid.
Initially, that's what I wanted to do, but the inner part of the geometry and the outer part look a bit strange when you do that because there is some bleeding of the shadow of the upper part and the lower part inside the middle zone.
But you make the texture also.
It's a procedural texture they provide basically. I can modify it, of course, but it, the benefit of their material is that also add some blurring to the eye, and it's slightly better, but not sure how to do the animation part.
Yeah, I think you can try to make just the strips. Even you can make them even separated, you know?
In the end, I could just delete
Then you,
the middle parts, the two rows from the
yeah.
middle.
But you can actually make two separate parts, so you can even inner penetrate the shadows when the eyes are perfectly close and you don't need to squash anything. You
Yeah,
just
yeah,
need to follow the eyelid.
yeah, that would work, I think. Thanks, man.
Have a wonderful night.
Okay, mate, take care. Who asked me if I have a second?
It was me.
I'll check now, Asgard. Thanks.
TJ Low?
Yes, sir.
What's the problem?
Oh no, I posted a just a quick image of what I just did, little tweaks I did in the web page on Discord.
It's on Discord. Yeah, the eyes now look more human-like. But you know, let me check what this is. Because I feel like
I know before you said something about
if you look
I
here,
messed the forms around the mouth, but I didn't really understand.
if you look here, right, in this picture, you can see that the distance between his eyes are basically another eye, right? He's like a normal human being. He has like no actually issues with the eyes being too far apart or something.
Okay.
So if I look at your picture here, you have like 1.5 eyes in between the eyes, and you need to work at scale once, and to have a proper setup scene so you can use in a normal camera environment. Stop it. Do you know how to set up your scene in ZBrush to be able to verify your stuff and make it look like at least pretty close to what you get in a normal camera environment?
Oh, you mean like changing the draw distance and stuff in the draw tab, or
Yeah, working with
yeah?
a proper draw. Well, yeah,
Well,
but
unless you have something else
that
like
that's
what do you
depending on the
thinking
scene
of?
scale, man. On the first object you're loading in the scene.
Wait just a minute. Wait, just an oh crap. Let me see. Okay, that's weird. All right, so it's pretty much just changing the angle of view, right? Hey, what do you usually set it to? Do you set it between like 25 and 30? I have mine set to 30.
No.
No?
Let me explain again. Well, I guess I need to make this fucking tutorial and post it on YouTube because everyone I'm ending up pretty much every day saying the same thing. I have like roughly 75, 80 hours of work. Lucky. Okay. So first step is to go in Max Maya, whatever you work on, and you create a sphere that's like 0.3 meters in radius, right? Something like that. Then you export this sphere. Export, no go Z. You export it. See here, ZBrush.
Wait, I'm just gonna write this down real quick. You said 0.3?
Yeah, 0.3, what I usually work with. My posture is perfect gone. When you have my bone issues, it's the only posture you can have. So you make a sphere that's like 0.3. You go here in ZBrush. You import this, right?
Yeah, okay.
And you append your head to this scene. I had the head selected. So you append the body, the head, whatever you're working on. Hey Zera, what's up, man? Haven't seen you talking in a while. So then you scale your head depending on how big it is to roughly have the size of like a normal head has like 24 centimeters in height, right?
Okay.
So basically it should be like half of this sphere for your head. Right? It's not my case for this character because he has like a really fucking small head, right? But the overall, like my character is 2 meters in height and the head is small because it's small in the concept. But a normal or realistic head should be like 24 centimeters, around that in height. So you scale your model and now you can work on it. And after you've made this, if you want an aperture that a field of view that's like 30 millimeters in real life, you need to go to draw and put it somewhere to 90. Okay, so 89, 90, it's pretty much a 30 millimeters in any real camera environment. And this will help you a lot if you're trying to replicate some pictures. If you're doing a likeness, most of the pictures you'll get online will be from the red carpet shit, right?
Okay.
And most of those pictures are taken with cameras with a really big lens, with a really big field of view, like 80, 90, even 120, 100 on the camera, right? but usually it's really large. And your actually let me just load let me just import Clementine's head, because that's where you can see, you can actually see experience pros. Fuck knows where I put that. Clementine. This one. Let's append this to the sphere scene. Okay. So you see, Clementine said it's actually kind of at scale, right? So if you go to a 90, let me open it from Mark's close. SP. This one. Copy the head that I just opened there. So this camera, the camera in Marmoset, it's 28.9, so let's say 30 millimeters, right? And if you check this and this in ZBrush, it's pretty similar.
Got you.
Sorry, without local, right? So this and this are pretty similar. If you go with a draw with an angle size somewhere close to 30, it will be really close to an 80 millimeters in real life, which is kind of what you get from pictures on the red carpet, right? Where you see a 3x4 image like this and you see both ears, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is pretty much the same thing as here. Just hide everything. Got it?
Yeah, I think so for the most part. So pretty much. All right, so I'll just do the whole sphere thing in my real quick. So, but in the end, in ZBrush, my field of view has to be at 30, like you just put, right? Like you just said it, right?
Well, if you're gonna use pictures from red carpet, yeah, it should be somewhere like 30. But the thing is, let me do another thing so you will understand. If you're gonna start this, you're gonna have a sphere that's like this big, right?
Right.
And I'm gonna export this. Export selected sphere 02. It says sphere 02 for fuck's sake. Whatever. Okay. So if you're gonna start a scene with a fucked up object like a full body or something even bigger, or start with a dynamic sphere or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see where that ZBrush. You'll see the difference. So you'll start with this, you'll append your head. Right? You see? This is the head with 30. Let's actually take a print screen. Okay, and this is on the other. Come on. Why is it looking? It's not looking the same, but it's not much of a difference. I think I should have started with a bigger. You see, there's a difference in the proportions.
Right.
No, the idea is that if you start with something directly in ZBrush, like a Dynamesh sphere, you usually start with something that's like this big. This is actually the sphere. So selected. Sphere. 03. So let's start with import. Sphere. I'm gonna kill someone in a second. And we add the head again. What the fuck is this? Not. ZBrush is fucking with my nerves today. Like I have basically no difference. Am I doing something wrong? Oh, this is crazy. Did they change something to ZBrush? Or is my ZBrush doing itself? But there's not much difference and it should be a fucking big difference. There's a difference but it's not really visible. But the idea is that sometimes your scenes get distorted because of the initial scene size.
Right. I get. Yeah. Okay. I understand that. That's cool.
So
Yeah.
the idea is just start with a sphere that's like half a meter in diameter, right?
Gotcha. Start with the sphere, import it,
Import
then
your
you'll have like the
assets,
base thing.
scale it to have a normal proportion of about 24-25 centimeters, and then work with a draw size like 30 if you're gonna match up some camera that's shot with a high lens, like a red carpet, or if it's like a normal picture, which should be around in between 30 and 50 millimeters, you go like 70-90, right? So you need to match up these things to actually get the likeness. Otherwise, if you're gonna export this, you're gonna work with the wrong camera draw. It's something I did, like when I made Elmer, I didn't knew this stuff, right? So in goddamn ZBrush, Elmer looked like perfect, you know. In a camera environment, he looked like his eyes were really wide, his nose was too long and shit like that because the camera got distorted, and I moved the proportions depending on the view in ZBrush, which didn't match the real thing, you know.
Right. Yeah. I hear what you're saying. Okay. Cool.
And and having this like this, you can actually take a picture, put it here next to it, and check the distance in between the eyes or even in the background and so on. No? Because right now your character looks like he has the eyes really, really far apart, like too far apart compared to the real person.
All right. Cool. Gotcha.
And his nose looked like too wide. his cheekbone looked too exaggerated. We still have a lot of work to do to make him look like DMX. I haven't heard of this guy since ages now.
That's why I'm doing them.
Hi, Hannibal. Okay, where the fuck was I? Who's in prison? Hey, Zoltus. Yeah, I'm still streaming for some reason. Don't ask me why. DMX? I have no clue, man. I haven't heard of DMX since probably at least 10 years ago. Well, maybe you should not watch streams while driving, man. Wait till you get fucking home. Sneezing is not good for my health. I'm always doing critiques. Your work suck. I can say it. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, sure. Show off what you're working on. Let's see. I don't think I'm gonna work on this anymore today, so given the fact that it's past midnight here. When you're getting home, then get home then. Thought you're gonna send something now. A photoreal Nimlot model. I can get. How sir critic is you willing to? You lost me, man. What do you mean with a photoreal Nimlot model? I did a self-portrait like 8 years ago, 7 years ago. Wanna see it?
Sure.
I showed this so many times. I'm surprised some people don't even know it yet.
Ah,
So what am I looking on? Isother. Some skin shader. No, you're doing this. Kerrigan. I've seen this Kerrigan. I think you posted in local Longi Discord, or I've seen it somewhere else. And what I don't like about this model is the face anatomy, which is wrong.